Every element on the periodic table got its name from somewhere, and here is an incomplete sampling of what I consider to be some interesting element names. Some of the elements are named after places, some after famous scientists, some are from foreign words or non-English words. Some element names are related to the properties of the elements, and some are related to stories in mythology. So let's start with the place names, which I've colored in yellow. Down here at the bottom we have EU, which is Europium, from Europe. AM is Americium, named after America. On the right, GE, Germanium, named after Germany. And PO, which is polonium, named after Poland, the home country of Madame Curie. The elements colored in pink are named after famous scientists. On the left, RF is Rutherfordium, named after Ernest Rutherford, who did the gold leaf experiment. To the right of that, BH is Bohrium, named after Niels Bohr, who worked on the Bohr model of the atom and also contributed a lot to quantum mechanics. At the bottom, we have Einsteinium, named after, of course, Albert Einstein, and to the right of that, MD, Mendelevium, which is named after Dmitri Mendeleev, who is credited with devising the first periodic table. The elements I've colored in purple are derived from foreign or non-English words. Right in the middle of the table we have Fe, which is iron, which comes from the Latin word ferrum. Below and to the left of that, W is tungsten, which comes from the German word wolfram. And then to the right, Sn is tin, coming from the Latin word stannum, and below that, Pb is lead, from the Latin word plumbum. The elements I've colored in green have their names related to properties of the elements. Right in the middle of the table here we have Ag, which is silver, from the Latin word argentum, which means silver. Below that we have Au, which is gold, from the Latin word aurum, and aurum, or aurora, refers to the dawn, the sun rising, and so it's not surprising that gold is somehow connected to the sun. To the right of gold we have Hg, which is mercury, but it comes from the Latin word hydrogorum, which sounds a little bit like something you catch from sitting on dirty toilet seats. But that's not what it is. Hg, hydrogorum, is related to the properties of mercury. Hydra is water, and argorum is silver. So water, silver, silvery water, which is very appropriate for mercury. And then on the far right side of the table, we have xenon, Xe, which is related to our term xenophobia, which is fear of strangers. If you're afraid of strangers, you don't associate with them, and xenon is a noble gas and doesn't associate, doesn't react with any other elements. And the last group of element names that I'd like to talk about are related to mythology. Of course, I haven't mentioned all of the elements that are named after places or famous scientists or element properties and so on. I'm just trying to give you an idea for some of the interesting names of the chemical elements. On the left side here we have Ti, which is titanium, named after the Titans of Greek mythology. Below that we have PM, which is promethium. Promethium is named after Prometheus, who gave mankind the gift of fire. I believe Prometheus was a son of one of the Titans, but who ended up siding with the Olympians in the war between the Titans and the Olympians. But he's best known, I believe, for supposedly giving mankind the gift of fire. In the lower left we have Th, which is thorium, named after Thor, the Norse god of thunder. And then right here in the middle of the table, PD stands for the element palladium, and the palladium was apparently a wooden statue that was in the city of Troy, and it was meant to protect Troy. Of course, that didn't work out so well for Troy, if you know the story as related in Homer's Iliad. And then after that, the palladium was stolen from Troy, and it ended up in Rome and was meant to protect Rome. And that worked out fairly well until the barbarians overran the city. But anyway, so there are lots of interesting stories about the elements and how they're named, but I just wanted to give you a flavor for the human infusion of creativity that sometimes happens in science.